Our food plenty there,
plenty. Food plenty.
Our food plenty for there.
A warehouse of 600 feet by 600 feet, full of COVID-19 products, was discovered today. Look at people struggling to pass. This incident has been going on since 7 a.m. As I speak with you, sources say the warehouse has not gone off. Palliative that were supposed to be given to people during the COVID-19 period was hidden away in a warehouse, and Nigerians were dying of hunger and starvation. Look at this man struggling to survive.
Yes, can you imagine?
Look at him. Something that is supposed to be brought to his home.
This thing for the past 2 hours.
Look at it.
It is still full.
You mean?
Finish. It's fully loaded. The warehouse is fully loaded.
Can you imagine?
Nigeria has more than enough. Nigeria has more than enough.
The Navy has collected their own. The armies have put their truck, collected their own. Immigration, custom, last mark. And the warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. Palliative for the poor, stored away. This is October 21st, 2020. Palliatives that were supposed to be shared in May were stored away. Some of the products are even expired. Look at how.
Good morning and welcome to today's news on Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Okushakin, and of course this is the Vanguard today, where we read and analyze the front pages of the papers, and also with me is my co-host Precious Tripoli, and of course it's Monday morning and the weekend. Also, we had a lot of things going on last week. I'm sure it was very challenging for you.
Of course, it was challenging for like literally almost every Nigerian. Like, it was the longest week of our lives. I think that some people are still having to go through it still, with the whole looting still going on in different states and whatnot. So it's been very long. A lot of people, while I was going through social media, I saw that some persons were saying they haven't had good sleep in the last 1 week. It's been really challenging, really.
I think some of the images that we saw on social media, it's part of that, of course, that sleepless night. And of course, I'm expecting what will happen this week, because we really don't know what is going to happen due to the curfew still on and the looting going on in many states. But of course, if you want to get updated, you can always visit our website. For this morning, let's start, of course, the review of the front pages. I'll be starting with the front page of Vanguard newspaper. And here we have government, businesses count losses to #EndSARS protest. And the rider says economy loses 54 billion naira daily under curfew, and that's coming from Greenwich Bank. Sanwo-Olu to Baja, asset replacement cost in Lagos put at 1 trillion naira. Effect will manifest in gross domestic product, that's GDP. That's coming from Professor Waleke. And firms lose over 1 trillion naira, says investment banker. Job losses, poverty to escalate, and that's coming from analysts. Details can be found in the Financial Vanguard on page 19. And on page 5, we have Lekki, I have no stake in LCC, that's Lagos Concession Company, says that Tinubu calls for shutdown of toll gates. And on page 8, we have #EndSARS protest. Buhari orders ministers to meet their constituents. And now moving on to the stories above the nameplate on page 13, we have go about to legitimate businesses. That's coming from Southwest governors, as Feni Ferry tells Igbo, and don't participate in further protests. Southeast governors beg Igbo youths. On page 11, we have 20 police stations outposts raised by hoodlums in Lagos. NECO postpones SSC exams indefinitely. You can see that on page 14. And on page 8, we have investigate Lekki shootings now. Catholic bishops urge federal governments. And lastly, on the front page of Vanguard, we have, of course, the photo story where you discover COVID-19 palliative items at the Quarry Avenue in Kaduna yesterday. And from the front page of Vanguard, we move straight to the Punch newspaper.
And on the Punch newspaper, we have main headlines. Police go after looters. 483 arrested in Lagos, Plateau, Anambra, others. The rider says we will fish out looters. Lagos, Osun, Akwa Ibom Police Command vow. 14 killed during looting of Kogi, Adamawa, Taraba palliative warehouses. Palliatives in warehouses, evidence Buhari isn't our problem, says daughter. We also have a photo story of people who looted, the palliative, showing on the front page of the Punch newspaper. The stories above, we have Lagos massive attack. Plots to weaken southwest economy, governor says. You can see that on page 6. And on page 23, Nigeria considers supplying power to Chad. Page 11, renegotiate Nigeria, imbalance producing sorrow, poverty, Danjuma, others. And stories beneath, we have friends prevented soldiers from going away with my son's body in Lekki. Grieving mother says. NECO postpones SSC indefinitely over school closure. Others. And away from the Punch newspaper, we move straight to the Guardian.
And on the front page of the Guardian, we have looting continues nationwide. Youth risks death over expired goods, drugs, and many killed and many injured. Abuja, Adamawa, Taraba, Kogi under attack. NAFDAC, Kaduna urge caution, and Serap asks ICPC to probe ordered palliatives. And it continues on on page 8 of the Guardian. And moving on to other stories, on page 2 we have a why 15% budget allocation to health is tall order by federal government. 246 naira budgeted for 1 month medical care of every Nigerian in 2021. Concerns over no direct allocations for COVID-19 and future pandemics. Federal government allocates 4.526% of budget to sector compared to 12.5% by South Africa. And of course, it continues on page 2. And on page 3, we have airlines resumes seek release of 27 billion naira bailouts. And still on page 3, we have NECO postpones 2020 SSCE indefinitely. And lastly, on the Guardian, we have 9 die in Katsina Yobe attack. And from the Guardian, we'll move straight to This Day newspaper.
And on This Day newspaper, we have main headline again: Buhari pleads for peace, assures victims of #EndSARS protests of justice. The writer says once looting will erode confidence of foreign investors. A coordinated attack targeted at weakening southwest economy, says governors, ministers. Gajabi Amila. Lagos needs 1 trillion naira to rebuild damaged infrastructure. Police needs 10 billion naira to rebuild bomb stations, barracks in Lagos, 25 police stations, 20 patrol vehicles, 3 barracks raised. You can see that on the front page. And also there's a photo story of Delta State governors and that's Ifeanyi Okowa inspecting the Coca Modern Leisure Park that was touched by hoodlums on Wednesday. And the stories above, we have Access Bank begins disbursement of 50 billion naira interest-free loan today. And that's all we can take on the front page of This Day newspaper.
And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers this morning. But of course, this is just a review segment, and we'll be going on a short break. And when we come back, we're going straight to the analysis segment. Meanwhile, while we're on the break, you can always like and follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen, and also share this. Share the video with your friends and have a watch party so that they can join us and of course know what is happening in Nigeria. We'll be back.
Our food plenty there, oh. Plenty.
Food plenty.
Our food plenty for there.
A warehouse of 600 feet by 600 feet, full of COVID-19 products, was discovered today. Look at people struggling to pass. This incident has been going on since 7 a.m. As I speak with you, sources say the warehouse has not gone off. Palliative that were supposed to be given to people during the COVID-19 period was hidden away in a warehouse, and Nigerians were dying of hunger and starvation. Look at this man struggling to survive.
Yes, can you imagine?
Look at him. Something that is supposed to be brought to his home.
This thing for the past 2 hours.
Look at it.
It is still full.
He not finish.
You mean?
Go and Dangote. He not finish. It's fully loaded. The warehouse is fully loaded.
Can you imagine?
Nigeria has more than enough. Nigeria has more than enough.
The Navy has collected their own. The armies have put their truck, collected their own. Immigration, custom, last man. And the warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. The warehouse has not gone half. Palliative for the poor. Stored away. This is October 21st, 2020. Palliatives that were supposed to be shared in May were stored away. Some of the products are even expired. Look at how people are struggling.
They are not expired though. 2021.
No, you see.
Never expired. 2021.
You see people are struggling. You see. Look at it.
I saw another way I'll see there for Ikeja. Another one for Ikeja. Lagos State.
Look at it. Not for sale. Not for sale. They stored it. Look at it. Not for sale.
COVID-19 is on the back.
They stored it. Wait. Let me see the pack. Now see. Look at it. COVID-19. Not for sale.
COVID-19.
The poor are suffering, and they stored it in a warehouse. Look at people passing through canal just to survive. Hunger in the land.
A sachet of tomato, 120 naira.
Look at people struggling to survive.
We are suffering.
Look at people.
Bag of rice, 40,000 naira.
Look at people. Echo has come to our head. These people are looters. They are criminals.
I'm telling you.
Joining us, this is today the news of Vanguard Live. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki, and now with my co-host Precious Chukwudi. And of course, this is the analysis segment. We're supposed to have a guest join us via Zoom, but of course we're having some connection problem. But while the program is going on, we expect he'll be joining us. But of course, before he comes, let's just analyze some of the stories. Of course, making waves in Nigeria right now. And of course, at the backdrop of the distractions of public and private properties. And businesses in the wake of the #EndSARS protest, businesses have been counting their losses, while the economic experts have listed the immediate challenges the crisis have thrown up against Nigeria's struggling economy. Also, replacement costs to Lagos State government, which is the worst hit by the crisis, has been put at 1 trillion naira. While overall costs to the private businesses have been put up at several billions of US dollars. And according to the industry experiences, industry executives and economists, the results will manifest in the fall in real gross domestic products, that's the GDP, to around 6.91% year-on-year, deepening the projected economic contraction this year, and disruptions in supply chain and faster in inflation. And also other fallout included a widening of fiscal deficit, as government is bound to incur extra budgetary expenditure to fix damaged infrastructure, further borrowing, and worsening of the nation's debt burden, further rise in the overall level of poverty and unemployment, reduction in foreign investment, and more pressure in the foreign exchange markets. I guess when this whole protest just started, I think especially when the destruction of property started, everybody were, many Nigerians were really lamenting that this week, it will affect many things in Nigeria, especially what youth are fighting for. Now we are talking about Nigerians now losing employment because of some of the properties that have been destroyed. We saw shops being razed, properties, shops looted. Of course, many people, before they come back, it will actually take a long time for them to be able to stand. And of course, in the process, you see someone losing. I guess then I was watching an interview then of course, the security man who was just talking and saying, of course, definitely, I think I've lost my job. But let me just tell you what happened. So that person is very sure that right now, it might not, it might not be able to, get what is happening, and many families might actually fall down to the poverty lane, those even below what they were living before, because of all this that is happening. And it's just so funny for us to see, what we are fighting for, being increasing again, and talking about, the borrowing level and the 1 trillion naira for them to, to fix these things that have happened in Lagos. I mean, Lagos is like, it's the financial, financial state. Yes, it's the economic capital of the country. Like 50%, according to how it has been estimated. The airport was locked. It was closed for some days due to the curfew. And also, properties, people were at home and they couldn't earn for those days. And people were actually scared of their lives. Just like when we started, you mentioned people not being able to sleep for a week, having sleepless nights and all those.
And the fact that some of the places where you generate monies for Lagosians or Lagos in a whole were closed down. For example, the Lekki toll gate, as a result of the protest, they couldn't make money from the toll gate. Basically, the airports too, nobody could travel. People had to cancel their flights. All these things. And then seeing how these things unfolded and then resulted to something very, very heartbreaking is another aspect. But then let's talk about a particular video that surfaced yesterday on the internet, speaking about wrong videos coming on social media at this point in time, and telling Nigerians to basically debunk such videos. So go about your legitimate businesses. Southwest governors, Afenifere tells Igbo, and the Southwest governors in the country have disowned the 48-hour ultimatum given to some Nigerian nationals, especially the Igbo, to quit the region. While describing the ultimatum as senseless, the governors enjoined the Igbos in the region to ignore the ultimatum and go about their legitimate businesses. Now, the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum and Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has said this in Akure in reaction to the ultimatum purportedly issued by one Adeyinka Granson. And Akeredolu said that we strongly condemn the plural, divisive and revisionist video by one inconsequential individual by name Adeyinka Granson going viral that has given the Igbos an ultimatum to leave the Southwest region. And the video is not just senseless, it is a product of an agent of destabilization who does not even mean well for Yoruba land. Also, it says that the Igbo, like every other tribe in the Southwest, are free to go about their legitimate businesses, and they are enjoined to ignore the ultimatum. And it's good because as of yesterday, the video was making rounds on Twitter. People were asking, who is this person? And in a time where there's turmoil and reports of violence, looting going on here and there, this is not one of the things that we need. Like he said, agents of destabilization. Really, we don't need some agents of destabilization, coming in between us right now, trying to put some ethnic war. It's not what we need. We need to form that level of peace inside and outside, because it's been a long week for us, so we don't want to be seeing people who will be telling us, oh, this is what's happening, or especially because I think that video, the guy is not even in the country, he's maybe outside the country. Like, whatever even gave him the right to put up a video like that, these are the things that we're talking about. And it's good to see that Afenifere came out to debunk it and saying that because in the video he actually used the Afenifere national anthem, making it look like he was coming from them. So it's a lot of things really, and it got some people already riled up that what is going on. I thought we were trying to do the hashtag #EndSARS protest. Then why are we now? Why are we looking at it from the angle of a tribal war and something like that? So it's good to see that the Southwest governors came together and debunked it, and also Afenifere has said that no, this does not this does not take what we stand for. We don't support things like this, and they debunked it, and it's a very good one.
And I think it's actually good when sometimes when we get the wrong message and you see Nigerians coming up to say no, it's wrong. I remember the video of I think last week Adamu Garba when he did a video, and of course when it was translated to English and some others they were like telling the Hausas to still stand behind the president, stand no matter what, stand together, whatever is happening.
And it made it sound like there was something going on.
I think that was actually the genesis of the tribal war stuff, where people were like, this actual protest and the violence going on is as a result of tribal differences and all that. But we saw Nigerians coming out to say, of course, it's wrong. Even the Hausas coming out to say, no, we are not all together for these Muslims, the Yorubas,
and that's the reason why there's this strong sensitization that you have to be very careful of the things that you see on social media, the things that you watch, the things that you read. These things might be done by people who do not want the peace of this country.
Yes.
Might be done by people who just want to keep seeing us fight against each other.
And they just want to impose their own idea on you and want you to follow what they think. And I think that's wrong. It's really, really wrong. But also, reacting to that, President Muhammadu Buhari has again condemned 8 messages and eviction notices to ethnic and religious groups as a result of the consequences of the NSAS protest in some parts of the country. And also according to him, in a statement issued by his spokesman, that's Malam Garba Shehu, he frowned at the eviction notices. He also asked Nigerians to take pride in the fact that our diverse people have been living with one another in harmony for ages. And of course, he also says that the rights of all citizens to live and work in any part of the country is a constitutional one and will be defended by the government, and express optimism that the judicial panel of inquiry set by the Lagos state government would assist the nation to give justice to the peaceful protesters who lost their life. And this word of encouragement coming from the president is also another thing, telling them not to mind whatever is going on. We are supposed to live in harmony no matter where you are. Of course, we are Nigerians, and that name is supposed to guide us no matter where the tribe you are from. But of course, we had people also complaining on social media saying we have policies that are promoting a tribalism in Nigeria. So that's why people are still talking about this tribal war and differences.
But then
in Nigeria.
I think that we need to start from somewhere, and like I said, you have to your peace has to generally come from inside before it can come outside. Because if you're not peaceful inside, it can reflect outside. And what we naturally need at this point in time, looking at all the things that we have gone through as a country in the last week, we need to fight for our peace, which is not allowing some unscrupulous person to come out and say that they think that this is what is going on. No, you can't allow people to speculate or have different ideas in their head and make those ideas your own ideas. You need to find your own peace, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, it's really, really important. But of course, that's I will come up to the end of this this program today, and we're supposed to have a guest to join us, but it seems that due to connection problem, he could not join us. But before we go, let's look at what Mr. and Mrs. are saying. And the first person speaking today is Mr. It says, with the turmoil going on in the country, all you are interested in is what I promised you. Men are in this world just to labor for women. And Mrs. replied, look at him complaining. Men want nothing but freebies.
Well, looking at coming back from one another, I think they are both even this time around.
Yes, really even. There's nothing you can say about that from Mr. and Mrs., but it's a nice one. And that's what we have for you on Today in the News. You can always like and follow us on our social media platforms that are showing on your screen, or visit our website www.vanguardnj.com to get more of our top stories and what's going on around the world. Today is Monday, the beginning of a new week. Have a lovely and fantastic week. It's bye from me, Damola Bushaki, and also from my co-host
Precious Chukudi. Thank you for watching.